This is an AI bot that is gonna give you design feedback.
This is me, a designer with 25 years of experience. Thousands of people request feedback from me every year. Instead of turning them all down, I decided to do the unthinkable. Meet MalewiczBot, an AI that uses that experience to give you design feedback. I spent 25 years on working for some of the largest brands in the world, created my own design methods, and at this point I taught design to over 100,000 people. But can an AI bot do all that? Will it revolt, take over the world, and make bad design punishable by death? Will it outlaw Comic Sans? And is it really me inside of that bot? Well, obviously I had to test all of these and more. This gives us a glimpse into how AI will shape the future of design and what problems it faces today. So is it really me inside that bot? Well, kind of, but we'll get to that near the end. First, I'm gonna show you how you can create a bot like that all by yourself, and you can also use me as the main source of information for it. So you can have your own MalewiczBot. But on the other hand, who wouldn't want a MalewiczBot to order around, right? The reason you might want to make your own MalewiczBot is that maybe you're only struggling with one part of design, like grid and layout, and you don't want the bot to bore you with all the other details that you already have on lock. So let's make a tailor-made MalewiczBot right now. All you need is an access to ChatGPT Plus subscription and a web browser. Check and check.
Okay, first thing that you gotta check here is whether you're on GPT-4, because it's not gonna work on 3. And then go to Explore and create a GPT, and you're in the builder. And the builder is basically a ChatGPT on its own, so you need to write to it what you want to create. So my own GPT app that evaluates my user interface designs, and I want to be able to upload a screenshot and get feedback. Then you need to specify what kind of feedback you want, in my case colors, hierarchy, grid, spacing and all that stuff. Then it comes up with a name for you. I don't want it, so I'm just gonna call it Michał MalewiczBot, and then it creates a profile picture, and it's just kind of pretty out there. It doesn't really fit anything. So I decided to try and ask it for a simpler one with a gray background and a black square outline. And I also asked for some red squares in there, and sadly it just kind of made it really messy, so I wanted to make it a little bit more minimal, and then it came back down to like a very simple square. So when I asked to add a red square in the very center, it for some reason came up with a circle. But then I just decided I don't want to play with it anymore, so just left it at that. So the next thing it asks you is a little bit more context. So what areas of user interface design should it focus the most? So I went with mostly the visual side of user interface design, but I tried to specify things like hierarchy and spacing and so on. So to test the bot, I uploaded a level 1 image from one of my previous videos and asked it to tell me what to improve in the design. And it's trying to be nice to you here, so it doesn't say it sucks, but it says that it can be improved. It lists things like layout and grid system, typography, color scheme, which obviously are problematic. There is some hierarchy problems here as well, and consistency, obviously. And then some parts of the user experience are pretty right, like spelling and grammar, but some are pretty weird. It gives you quite a lot of recommendations, but these recommendations are very vague, so they don't really tell you what to do and how. And when you're ready to go public with your bot, you can go to save and confirm, and then it's gonna be available to everybody.
You know what? I am probably the best person in the world to test whether this bot really sounds like me and uses my knowledge. So I have, and it's mostly bullshit.
Why don't you explain this to me like I am an 8-year-old?
When asked about the red square method, the bot came back with some gibberish about using red squares to identify the most important part of a design. No, that's not it. Obviously, that method is all about learning optical spacing and proper hierarchy and has nothing to do with the most important element in the UI. I wrote that very first article about it in 2019 and it has been reposted all over the internet, so ChatGPT definitely had access to the right source, it just didn't use it. It also doesn't use my dry humor and not too witty jokes in the responses at all, and that made me sad.
Darkness, my old friend.
I mean, come on, I don't sound like a typical UX teacher to you now, do I? Let me know in the comments, but I'm warning you, don't cross a line here. After asking a couple times, it did finally recognize that I created the term glassmorphism and wrote the very first article. So it's not like it's all wrong. But is a bot like that really worth $20 for the ChatGPT Plus subscription every month? Well, is it? Even though it doesn't really sound like me and it doesn't understand most of my methods, a lot of the feedback that it gives actually makes some sense. If you're a complete level 1 beginner and you send it a design like this, it will give you some high-level feedback that is completely right. These are the things that you should be fixing. The suggestions, however, are pretty disjointed, so they're not really that easy to implement. It's gonna tell you that the alignment in some places is wrong, but it's not really gonna tell you how to fix it. Before we talk about the value for money and what you should be doing here, let's talk about this. Over 60% of people watching this right now are not subscribed. Time to change that, click that little button and then write a comment introducing yourself. We're all nice and friendly here, so do it right now. Let's talk about the money. ChatGPT Plus costs $20 a month. So if you wanted to use it just as a design feedback bot, is it worth it? Not really. Because here is the deal. It does give you some help, it does give you some feedback, but even my most beginner course on mobile app UI design is gonna help you be a lot better, identify the same problems and give you way more knowledge than the bot ever could. Meaning you could be fixing that interface yourself right away. If you want to use the bot anyway, wait till the end of the video and I'll show you how. My course currently costs $45, but you know what? I'm gonna match the price to the GPT subscription, meaning I'm slashing it right now down to $20 and you can get it at that price in the link in the description right now. At least for the foreseeable future, this is gonna help you way more than the ChatGPT subscription and the AI bot ever could. Okay, but how about in the future? We are training a different non-GPT model at the moment with my actual knowledge, skills and unique techniques like the red square method, type framing, and hierarchy strips. This isn't gonna be easy, but eventually we'll likely arrive at a true MalewiczBot, one you can talk to and one that will have my amazing sense of humor, and the stupid jokes included. For now, you can use the current bot with a link in the description, and obviously have a beautiful day.